What is going on, Media Kingdom? So today I'm coming to y'all with another video. So this video, you guys, is going to be about Kada Scott. Before I get started, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what y'all think about this video. So Kada Scott, you guys, was recently unalived, and this case has been picking up a lot of traction. So I decided to react to the whole case. So y'all probably wondering, who is that if y'all never heard of it? So it's this lady by the name of Kada Scott. Mind you, she's very young. So I use the term lady very loosely because to me, she's was still a girl. Okay. She was in her early 20s, you guys, and she was unalived by basically this stalker, this harasser in the Philadelphia neighborhood, which she not only complained about, had videos of, police were informed. This man had been charged for at one point raping somebody and then released. It goes on and on. Oxygen has already released an article on this. And if y'all know, Oxygen now is no longer the Bad Girls Club channel. Okay, they are the crime channel. So for them to have already released the article on this, they are planning on making probably already like y'all know those docu crime shows about it. So it said charges for a man accused of kidnapping Kada Scott have been upgraded to unaliving after the Philadelphia medical examiner ruled the 23-year-old's death a homicide. The medical examiner revealed Scott died from a pow wound to the head, according to Philadelphia. So if y'all seen on social media that guy with the dreads, and then you might have thought maybe it was funny when he did the little move thing, but it's really not because he was the one that unalived her. So that was the video that if y'all see on social media that was surfacing of the guy kind of like surrounding the house. So he was the one that ended up doing this to Kada. It said Philadelphia's district attorney's office announced October 21st that Keon King, 21, which by the way, that nigga ugly as hell. No wonder he had the great girls. The nigga ugly. The nigga ugly. I don't give a fuck. He's ugly. Whether he did it or not, he's ugly. Sorry. Faces additional counts of robbery, theft, abuse of a corpse, and conspiracy in connection to the high profile case. When did she disappear? She was working an overnight shift at the Terrace at Chester Hill Assisted Living Facility October 4th when her coworker reported seeing her outside in the parking lot arguing on her phone. I can't believe you're calling me about this ish, the coworker reportedly heard Scott say before she saw Scott walk towards a dark colored vehicle that left the parking lot a short time later, according to a criminal complaint obtained by the news outlet. Now, what hasn't been confirmed is like what was truly their relationship. Like by her death, like what was truly their relationship. That's something that I've seen people speculate. Some people say that was her plug. Some people say that was like an ex that she wasn't dealing with anymore. But I'm talking about not before. I'm talking about at the time of the death, like the day of the death. What was their relation to each other? That to me, I don't. I've seen certain reports about it, but to me, it hasn't been 100% confirmed what that was. Cell phone records show that Scott made a total of 12 phone calls between 9:25 and 10:12 p.m. and had been texted with a number believed to belong to King earlier that day, according to court records. Scott allegedly texted King, "Kid again," to which he replied, "Better be up too." Their final exchange came at 10:09 when she texted, "Come when you hear." When she didn't return home the next morning, her mother called the assisted living facility and Scott was reported missing. Authorities later discovered phone records show that King and Scott's phone traveling towards the Ada H. Lewis Middle School the night of her disappearance. Surveillance video also captured a car pulling into a nearby recreation center parking spot. Scott's phone stopped submitting a signal at 10:24, according to court documents obtained by CBS News. The next night at 11:39, surveillance cameras picked up two people in the parking lot getting out of a Toyota Camry belonging to King and walking towards the abandoned middle school. At 3:56 a.m., they returned to the lot, according to the criminal complaint. Footage showed them taking a heavy object consistent with the body out of the passenger side of the Camry and carrying it towards the woods, which, by the way, like the way that they were able to kind of catch him and connect this all to him, it's like I don't get how you could. Some people, when they be pleading not guilty, how could you be not guilty? Like, what makes you not guilty? You know what I'm saying? This is one of the instances. All right, so it said a spokesperson for Philadelphia Police told Oxygen.com that King turned himself in. So he did end up turning himself in later on. They said the next day, police searched the abandoned middle school and found several items believed to belong to Scott, including a cell phone case, an iPad case, glasses, and a card with her name. Later that same day, they located a gold Toyota Camry police said was connected to Kada's disappearance and took it into custody for forensic examinations. Her remains were discovered buried in a wooded area. Now, this article is leaving something out because somebody called with a tip telling them exactly where the body is. That person needs to be questioned because, bitch, that's too specific for you to know where the hell the body was lied. Mind you, that school is abandoned, empty, gone. It's not like there's children walking up and through. So, how would they know the body is back there? It's giving Keon told friends, and that friend called and snitched. So that person to me needs to be questioned. Because how the hell did they know? The reason why this resonates to me is because first of all, I have sisters. And two, the way this could have been prevented is so crazy that it pisses me off. And this is why I made a video yesterday with the when there's violent sexual charges, I feel like the amount of bond that's put out for somebody to get out is too low versus somebody who literally gets caught with weed and their bond is up to damn near 1 million and they're not hurting anybody, especially if they're not distributing. But then you have somebody who's literally hurting somebody, but they could get out scotch free if they have the money. That to me is it will never make sense to me. I have like the biggest problem with the judicial system because of that. That bothers the hell out of me. It doesn't make sense. It's not fair. And this is why there's creeps all around the world because of that. They're able to bond out so quickly. In and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Like it's a damn door. They said the next day, police searched the abandoned school and found all the items. Her remains were discovered in a wooded area near the school on October 18th after police received a very specific tip the night before. King is being represented by attorney Shaka M. Johnson, whose office had no comment on the allegations. King is currently being held on a $500,000 bond, but is expected to appear in a new arraignment in the light of the M charges against him. So, what we're going to be reacting to is basically a little bit of a breakdown of the whole case, some of the correspondents speaking about it as well, and then also the press conference with the M charges being brought forth. Okay. Once again, this has gone like nationwide just due to the severity of the case, because once again, it really could have been prevented. The authorities in that city were aware all of this was going down, with the stalking and the bothering her and everything like that. So the text with her saying, "Come K me again," to me is a little strange, but I think it may explain as to what their relationship was at that time, whether they have been dealing with each other or not. I feel like she knew something that he did not want to get out, or she was with child. I ain't even trying to be funny. I think she was with child and he did not want it. This is me just throwing a theory out there. It may be wrong to do that, but if you got to think about it. For him to have raped somebody before and not unalive them, and then this time really unalive them with a pop out to the head, that means she knew something that he did not want to get out. That's just my speculations.
Streetlights in suburban Philadelphia, 23-year-old Kada Scott vanished without a trace. The radiant nursing assistant and aspiring Miss USA hopeful had just finished her shift when she disappeared. Her car still parked, her phone left behind. For days, her family pleaded for answers, hope, clinging to every lead. Then came the break. Police arrested 21-year-old Keon King, now
See,
accused.
I told you he ugly. God damn. Mm.
Of kidnapping. Investigators say surveillance footage and cell data traced King's path to an abandoned school where they believe he left chilling evidence behind. And now, a huge development in the case. Kada's body has been found and positively identified. Tonight, new information about what happened to Kada and what is next in this ongoing investigation. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. This story is really upsetting, but it gets more upsetting when you hear more of the backstory. And the backstory tonight begins with the elected DA in Philadelphia. His name is Larry Krasner.
Mind you, another thing that's being left out, his dad also works in the police field. Like, it's so many layers to the story. I don't think people understand.
He's a brilliant guy. He's a Stanford Law School graduate, was out at Stanford when I was there. I was not a prosecutor. He was. Mentality and a defense attorney's priorities. Now, the priorities of being a DA are pretty clear. As a matter of fact, if you look on the website for the Philadelphia DA's office, like the first thing they talk about is protect the community. Now, and then you provide any protection that they may need or they feel that they need. Wasn't done here. We're going to talk more about that, but let's talk about the latest updates now in the case and the results now that we know how much of a failure this was. Because now we have confirmed that Kada Scott is in fact deceased. And that prosecutor, Larry Krasner, and one of his assistants brought the news today. Let's take a look.
It has been confirmed that these are the human remains of Kada Scott, and that has been confirmed by DNA.
As of last night, our office.
And what's sad too with how her body was found, they went near that area and they were not detectives. Went near that area and they couldn't find the body, but it took one person to call for them to find the body. Isn't that crazy? Like, I'm telling y'all, this world is going down in a fiery basket. If the people that they went to school to do these things, they can't even locate something. They were like right next to it. And then we have somebody who literally is a stranger that had to call. Well, not a stranger if the tip was specific and ended up finding the body.
Approved charges, as the DA just said, of arson, causing catastrophe, conspiracy, unauthorized use of an automobile, tampering with evidence, recklessly endangering another person, and receipt of stolen property. Those charges are in reference to the burning of a vehicle. That vehicle is a 2008 black Hyundai Accent. That vehicle first entered our radar last week. Investigators received a tip that there was a vehicle burning and that vehicle had some connection to this case. At the time last week, when investigators went to the location where...
And I think the reason why they tried to burn the vehicle is because they probably shot her in the vehicle, so they didn't want any evidence to trace through. I love watching crime shows, you guys. I'm probably like, oh, Pierre, you're weird, but I love ID Channel. That's like my shit. I'd be like, oh my God, who did it? It's all funny stuff to laugh about, but I'm just saying, like, that's something weird about me that many people may not know. Like, I love watching ID Channel. Like, finding out who did it at the end or what happens at the end, I'd be gagged. And ID Channel, they have so many. You would think crime is like one level. They have so many different type of sectors. Like, they have one like Fear Thy Neighbor, where like they have reckless neighbors that end up unaliving them, or like lovers, like fearless lovers. Like, it's, man, ID Channel's where it's at.
The vehicle was burned. That vehicle was no longer there. It had already been towed, compacted. It was in a junkyard. This weekend, we recovered additional evidence, including video evidence that confirms that this vehicle, we believe, is the vehicle that Mr. Keon King used to move Miss Scott. We recovered video out from near the Ada Lewis Middle School, where our search and the investigator search has been focused. There's a rec center directly next to that school. Video evidence was recovered from that rec center, and we are now able to say that this Hyundai Accent was on location at all of the times we're looking at all of the pertinent points in the investigation. That vehicle was stolen on October 3rd from the area of 6600 Sprague Street. We believe that vehicle is the vehicle that was used in this case. That vehicle was then on scene at that rec center, which ultimately, as we all know, is where we found Ms. Scott's human remains. Video evidence indicates it was on location. Video evidence then indicates it leaves the location. It was located at the 2300 block of 74th Avenue. When this new video evidence was uncovered this weekend, investigators from the homicide unit cross-referenced all of this information with the cell phone evidence that we had already gained and we had already been using in terms of the kidnapping case and other charges. What I can share is that the cell phone evidence, the call detail records, and timing advance data as it pertains to Keon King's mobile device puts him at all of the locations that we're talking about. It's on scene when the Hyundai Accent is there at the recreation center. It is on scene when the vehicle is burned. Based on that, last night I approved those charges. And as the DA said, we should have more information in terms of bail and a preliminary hearing date. Hopefully this afternoon or certainly by tomorrow.
Now, for that grape charge that was done, it wasn't done to her. It was another girl. The girl did not show up to court, so those charges did not stick. So that's why he was able to bond out and then eventually not have been held with that charge because the woman did not show up. So sadly, let's say if she did show up, we probably wouldn't even be doing this video right now. So
we received a tip to go to the Ada Lewis Middle School. Investigators did a thorough search. Essentially, what the new tip was this weekend was go back. It was go back, she's there, look again, and they did give more specific details in terms of where to look. And ultimately, that is what led us to her.
That's interesting too. And a little factoid there, a little footnote. We got a tip last week to go there. We didn't find anything. Then we got another tip saying, hey, look harder. And maybe some more specifics involved there. That's a little troubling as well.
No shade. I'm telling you, whoever that is, bitch, you can't be anonymous at that point. I've always wondered that. Like the people that know where bodies are or they know so much information about an unaliving, wouldn't that make you somewhat of a suspect or guilty? Because how do you know so much? Like the only ones that make sense is like somebody who's like did a crime and you know of them and they're hiding and you know where they're hiding at. Then it's like, okay, boom, you can hear through word of mouth, such and such is over there. Da, da, da. But if you know where a body is lying or laid, that is very, like, I wouldn't want to know about that. Don't tell me shit.
Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Al Wunsch III, criminal defense attorney Darnell Crossland, and family law attorney Jennifer Brandt. Great to have everyone here. I want to begin our discussion and start focused here on the case that prosecutors have now and what they'll be doing next and why he's not charged with murder yet. Before we get to all the other problems, we'll do that in the next segment, all the problems that I have with this DA. But let's start with you, Al. Let's talk about where we are right now in this investigation in terms of moving towards a murder case. Why do you think they're waiting? Is it the autopsy? Is it the toxicology? They want cause and manner, and then they just put two and two together here because they've got the abduction already, and they've got all this data, this location data.
That's right. They already have the kidnapping charge, which is a very, very serious charge, obviously. So why not wait to have all your ducks in a row before you go to the big number, which is the murder charge? And he's not going anywhere. I mean, like, he's this charge, the kidnapping in and of itself is going to be enough to hold him at any point in time. So there's no rush to get that charge. Do it right, sift through everything, have all your ducks in a row, have everything set up, and then go forward with the murder charge. That's the key in this, and that's what they're going to do.
All right. Hey, Al or Darnell, what do you think here? The way it's progressing, this seems a little bit more normal at this point, right? If you've got a murder case, but you've got other charges that you can hold them on, you do that first. I'm just wondering how confident you are in them continuing this investigation to put the pieces together here. Darnell, we can't hear you. I think you're muted. There you go.
Yes, Al's upset that I unmuted myself. Sorry about that, Al. So the first thing we worry about is the safety of the community. So if you can, as we've seen in these cases, arrest someone, make sure that the community is now safe as you proceed with your investigation. That's the first thing you do. It's but for a matter of time before the murder charge comes, because everything else puts him at the time and place of the murder. And we know that they have confirmed it is a murder, but as you said, we're going to get cause and manner, which are things that we have to do. And the last thing along that same line is that you don't want to rush a murder charge and have jeopardy attached in any way, because you arrested someone for a charge like that without probable cause, or give the defense attorney anything that they can hang their hat on. And speaking of that,
now this was before he ended up getting that charge. So this is the beginning, you guys. We're doing this like in time order. He did end up getting that M charge to him. So just so you know. And now there's been newer reports that have come out, because I'm gonna do probably multiple parts of this, where they're saying there's probably more than one person involved, which I think so too, because there's no way he could have done this all himself, especially with the transferring of the body and also the burning of the car. So I think it's like another guy that isn't, out there yet. And I think that other guy may have been the person who said the tip, or that guy was the one who told somebody who then called about the tip. Either way, I feel like whoever had something to do with it told the person who called in about the tip with the specific location of the body.
As you stated in the opener, the DA, who used to be a defense attorney, is probably coming under some scrutiny for not doing enough to act like a prosecutor. So to answer your question, whether in fact we're going to get a murder charge, it depends. If he keeps the same routine, then maybe not. He might find a way to let this guy out. But if he puts on his prosecutor's hat and digs in, then we should have a murder charge coming soon.
Jennifer Brandt, this is close to your neck of the woods. I'm sure there's a lot of local pressure on him. I want to put a map up on the screen so we can see the area that we're talking about here. The original searches were in the Arboretum, which is the forested area here. You see where the abandoned middle school is and the rec center that was referenced. It just doesn't seem like a vast area that needed to be searched. Are you surprised, Jennifer? Are you disappointed that the original search didn't turn anything up? They had to have the tipster recall them and say, no, this time really look for her?
Yeah, I mean, it is upsetting to hear that, Vinny, because, there are a lot of trees in the area. There's an arboretum there, but...
Well, maybe it's a lot of trees for a city, but, like, for those of us in Georgia, that's not a lot of trees. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's like two or three square blocks of trees. Like, it's not a forest. We're not out in the middle
No
of
shade.
this, protected land somewhere. It's 3 square blocks in a city.
It doesn't look that cluttered, even from the map. It doesn't seem that cluttered at all. That's why I said the fact they couldn't find it is so despicable to me. Like, damn. Like, y'all was like right there, y'all couldn't find it. Because usually, like, just from me watching crime shows, when they look for like bodies and stuff like that, they usually look like somewhere completely different, not even near where the body actually is. So it makes sense why they don't find it. But if you're near it and you can't find it, that's like, were y'all really looking that hard? Because even that area right here, it doesn't look that big at all, and it doesn't look that congested. That's what I think the point he's trying to make. Like, there's not a whole lot of trees going down in the field of a forest to where it's like it's gonna take hours for you to like days for you to look through.
Well, I mean, Vinny, first of all, they didn't know exactly where she was, but until they got the tip.
No
But
shit.
it is upsetting to hear that they were generally in that area. They were around this middle school. They did search the area, but they didn't find her. And, other people have said that the grave area was, it was pretty evident that a grave was there. The earth was overturned. It looked like someone had dug something up. And so, why the police didn't see it, or what was going on, or did they not have enough people out there looking? I mean, these are all questions that they're going to have to ask. To your point, Vinny, there is a lot of attention, local attention on this case, and now national attention. I mean, here we are talking about it on TV. So in terms of, watching what's going on from here on in, I think we're going to see, a lot of focus on this, and everyone, taking great pains to make sure that if this was a homicide, which we believe it is, that the person is convicted and some justice is served for Kada Scott and her family.
Absolutely. All right. Think Tank, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to talk about Keon King, the suspect's prior history, and what the DA did not do and did do in those cases, plus coming up next hour.
Your compassion, love, and strength have carried us when we could not carry ourselves.
And how he seemingly slipped through the cracks. Take a listen.
There's been some discussion about a prior case involving defendant Keon King, involving a different victim, a case that ended at a preliminary hearing. And there has been discussion about some of the events that occurred there. There is no doubt that there's a list of people in this office, outside of this office. No, it doesn't matter who they are, but there's a list of people who made a lot of good decisions and a couple decisions that could have been made better. That could have been better, right? There's certainly that has been discussed. But we also can't skip over some of the systemic issues here that are not small. This is a case in which, in the prior matter, we requested $1 million bail. $1 million minus $1 bail.
Facts.
And we did not get it. We don't set bail, judges do. The bail was set at $200,000. Why? Well,
so then y'all know you only have to pay a percentage of that, which was $20,000, which this man, Keon, apparently used to be a plug. Well, he was a plug before he got arrested and done to all of this. So $20K isn't probably something minor to him. I mean, isn't probably something major to him. So he was able to bond out. And that's the problem with some of these judges. Why is the bond so low? Because you don't have to pay that full $200. You pay a percentage.
Because the commissioner who set the bail probably imagined that was enough to hold Keon King in custody. It wasn't. Keon King had access to a lot of money. And so he paid $20,000 bail almost immediately and was out of custody as a consequence of that, right? This is the problem with cash bail. This is what we've been talking about for a long time.
Because the world is so worried about money and we're so fucking greedy and the world is so fucking broke that they don't give a fuck. As long as you have the money, you could get away with anything. They don't care. All it takes is the dollar.
Just whether or not he's in custody immediately. It's also what is the situation of a victim who has to go to court, a victim of domestic violence who has to go to court, knowing that the defendant will walk out the same door she came in. What is the situation? How likely is that victim to come to court if that victim knows that that victim is dealing with a profoundly dangerous, profoundly violent person? And we all know the answer. That victim is more likely to walk in the door of the courthouse and testify if that victim knows that the defendant can't walk out right behind him if he's locked up. Well, he wasn't locked up here. And so sadly what happened was there were two court dates, at the first of which the judge announced that it must be tried next time. And the victim did not arrive on both of those occasions. An eyewitness did not arrive on both of those occasions. I don't say that to say that's the whole story, but it's not. But it is part of the story. And it is a part of the story that would be remedied if we got away from this, frankly, nutty notion that bail is a good way to deal with these situations. Someone profoundly dangerous should be held. I don't care if they've got a lot of money. Someone who's not dangerous at all shouldn't be held. I don't care if they're poor. That should have nothing to do with this. Money should be divorced from determining who stays in custody, as has been done in the District of Columbia and many other states. It is a successful system. Now, without pointing a finger at any individual, I am pointing a finger at the cash bail system because its role in this is frankly very problematic. I also want you to know that there has been, and there continues to be, extensive victim support and outreach to the victim in the first case. That's just a fact. And we will continue to do that. Some of it I cannot even speak about because it would be inappropriate for me to talk about some of the measures that this office has engaged in for her protection. This is a situation in which there were actually two witnesses. There was a complainant, there was an eyewitness. There were good efforts to have the case prepared, to contact them, to speak to them. There were good efforts to subpoena them. Nothing is perfect in this life, but that was all handled well. The case was marked must be tried by a judge at the first listing when these witnesses did not appear. Neither one of them appeared for either one of these two listings. That is a judicial decision. It is not our decision. And then on the second occasion, when these two witnesses...
And I saw some people saying, oh, they should have made it an option so the victim could appear virtually. How is that going to change any fucking thing? To me, I can't I feel like a lot of the blame shouldn't be put on the victim prior to Kada not showing up because she was probably scared of retaliation. That girl is probably from Philly. She was probably some young girl who got caught up in a midst of something that she didn't want to get caught up in, ended up getting raped. She did not want to testify against the man because let's say if he were ruled not guilty, that's her ass. Let's say if he is guilty, that's her ass. Because guess what? He's a street nigga. So if he's not going to touch her, somebody else will. So for the people that are saying on the internet, oh, this would have never happened had she showed up. It probably may have not happened to Kada, but it would have probably happened to that first girl. The problem in all of this is the bond. That's the biggest problem. And that's what's wrong with the justice system. Because these judges, to me, like, it doesn't make sense how a crime like this, a bond you could set so low, but somebody gets caught with this. Somebody steals. They get the highest bond ever. But this, it's like, oh, you know, like that is crazy as hell.
This did not appear again. The attorney who was handling this case was faced with having the case either thrown out or withdrawn. There are certain strategic reasons why it can be better to have it withdrawn. But understand, when a judge of a particular level, and here it's the municipal court, rules that this is a must-be-tried case, that under the laws that exist requires the second judge to throw it out if the case is not ready to be tried. As we have indicated before, I do believe that there is a way this could have been presented without those witnesses. The buck stops here. That is on me, that it was not handled in that fashion. But I also believe, as I've said before, that it's a tough situation, especially in domestic cases, when you have a defendant out of custody who's going to come in and out of the courthouse doors, just like those witnesses.
Okay, so here is Kada's sister. So Kada's sister talks about how she felt about the death. So they did hold like a little small memorial near the school where they released balloons. And she was interviewed quickly just about everything that she's thinking.
On TV, the crime shows, scripts.
Drop the case.
Domestic violence cases. Okay.
This is the stuff that I watch on TV, the crime shows, scripts. To see this happen to someone so close to me.
Priya is describing what goes through her mind when she thinks about her friend Kada Scott. The two met while attending Penn State University. She says losing Kada has been a nightmare she still cannot fully understand.
It hurts because I kept replaying this in my mind that she didn't even stand a chance. You can give her a week, you can give her a few days, you can give her anything. Everyone was so hopeful that we would find her, that she would be alive.
Just a few weeks ago, she tells us Scott was getting ready to be one of her bridesmaids. Priya sharing this video of Scott excited, trying on the dress she was going to wear.
She was the type of person that she said she was going to do it. She was going to do it. She followed through all the way. That is just something that I'm really, really proud of her for.
On Tuesday, dozens of community members gathered once again to remember the 23-year-old woman whose life ended too soon. A prayer service was held along with a balloon release at the vacant Ada Lewis Middle School near where Scott's body was found.
Kada Scott will always be to me and to us the forever Miss Philadelphia.
Community members vowing to keep Scott's memory alive.
We're going to have a law called the Kada Scott Law so that women, Black women, all women who are going through domestic violence will know
missing on October 4th. Her body was found 2 weeks later. 21-year-old Keon King faces charges for kidnapping Scott and other related offenses. Police sources tell NBC 10 officials are looking at the possibility a second person may be involved. As the investigation continues, so does the push to demolish the abandoned property. For 2 days in a row, workers focused on clearing shrubs and debris at the school. Councilwoman Cindy Bass sent out a letter to the Philadelphia School District demanding leaders tear down the vacant building. The school district released a statement saying they are reviewing protocols for the former school.
And out here, as you can see, Kada Scott's memorial continues to grow while we are waiting to hear back.
They worried about the wrong fucking shit. Who gives a fuck about the school being abandoned? He would have hid it in the woods, if anything. Like, this the problem. They be worried about the wrong stuff. Like, who gives a fuck? Had it not been behind that abandoned school, it would have been hidden somewhere else.
Officials for cause of death. In Germantown, Shaira Arias, NBC 10 News.
Now, the family did release like a statement through another press conference that was had, and this was when the news came out that they confirmed that it was her body, because when they found the body, they just can't say, "Oh, it's hers." They did do the toxicology report, and then it did come out to be that it was her body.
Good morning. I'm Tania Leonard, the Director of Crisis Assistance, Response, and Engagement Unit here at the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office. And on behalf of the CARES Unit, I want to begin by extending our deepest care and support to the family of Kada Scott during this unimaginable, difficult time. CARES was created to stand with families who have experienced this type of tragedy and to walk beside them, help them access the support they need, and ensure they are not alone in days and weeks ahead. Yesterday evening, members of our team met with the mother and father of Kada Scott at their home alongside the district attorney to offer our continued presence, resources, and support as they navigate this profound loss. At this time, with the family's permission, we'll share a statement prepared by Kada's mother and father as we stand in solidarity with the family as a unit, as victim advocates, and as an office during this journey of grief and healing. Today, we'll say her name. Tomorrow, we'll say her name. And forever, we will say her name. It is with profound sadness that we share the tragic passing of our beloved daughter, Kada Scott. We kindly ask for space and privacy at this time as we process the heartbreaking events of the past few weeks. Our hearts are shattered, yet we are deeply grateful for the outpouring of love, support, and prayers from people across the nation and around the world. Please continue to keep us in prayer as we navigate this unimaginable loss. Our hearts are broken beyond measure. We are profoundly thankful to every person who shared Kada's story, joined the search efforts, prayed with us, and stood by our family during this devastating time. Your compassion, love, and strength have carried us when we could not carry ourselves. Kada was deeply, deeply loved. Her light, kindness, and beautiful spirit will forever remain in our hearts. We also wish to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Sherelle Parker, the Philadelphia Police Department, all first responders, local volunteers, community organizations, and media outlets, as well as everyone who worked tirelessly to help find our daughter. Although the outcome is one no parent should ever have to face, we remain thankful for the unity, leadership, and love that surrounded us through it all. As we continue to grieve, our family now seeks justice for Kada. We place our full trust in the Philadelphia Police Department and the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office to ensure that the truth is revealed and that those responsible are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Please honor Kada's memory by showing kindness and care to one another, just as she did every day of her life. With love, strength, and gratitude, the family of Kada Scott.
All right, so I'm gonna end the video there. I am gonna be doing a follow-up video because there is such more information that's coming out about this, especially with this third person that's involved in all of this. I say third because I say Kada is included in it because she is a victim. So there are been some new developments since this has dropped. Okay, let me know what you guys think down below. What do you guys think about the whole case in general? There's also a footage of a young girl that lives in Philly. She literally walks around, she walked around the neighborhood and showed literally the areas of where Keon must have been, Kada lived, and she kind of pinpointed everywhere where he would even sell drugs. Like she did it to the detail, to the T. So I find that interesting. We're gonna include that in part 2 as well. Okay, let me know what y'all think down below, and we're all babies.